The Regulators of Life. In this topic, we would learn about coordination in human being. Well, student, in human being, different activities are taking place simultaneously. They need to be coordinated efficiently and effectually. The coordination of different bodily activities are controlled by two mechanisms, namely as nervous control and chemical control. The components of the human nervous system are brain, spinal cord, and the nerves. The human nervous system. The nervous system can be divided into 1. The central nervous system or CNS, 2. The peripheral nervous system or PNS, and 3. The autonomic nervous system or ANS. The central nervous system comprises of the brain and the spinal cord and regulates all activities of the body. The peripheral nervous system includes all the nerves. The nerves form a network and spread throughout the body. They are instrumental in connecting all parts as the body to the central nervous system. The autonomic nervous system comprises of all the nerves present in the involuntary organs like heart, stomach, lungs, etc. On the basis of their function, the nerves are categorized as efferent and efferent nerves. Efferent nerves carry impulses from the sensory organs to the brain. Efferent nerves carry impulses from the brain to the sensory organs. The nerves are composed of neurons and neuroglia. The neurons are specialized cells capable of creating and transmitting electrochemical impulses. The neuroglia are supportive cells which assist the neurons in their functions. How do we taste food? There are distinct regions on the tongue where main tastes are detected or recognized. Taste buds at the tip of the tongue detect sweet taste. Those at the back, bitter taste. Group of taste buds at the side of the tongue measures salty and sour taste. The taste buds on the tongue transmits the different taste information as a message to the brain. Brain processes the information and tells us what food is actually in our mouth. To determine whether the object is hot or cold, we usually touch them. How do we detect that we are touching a hot or cold object? All the interaction from own environment is picked up by the specialized tip of dendrites of a neuron. It sets all the chemical reaction producing an electrical impulse which travel from dendrites to the cell body and form there through the axon, that is, nerve fiber, to its end. We can infer that the nervous tissue is composed of a highly organized network of neurons capable of transferring information in the form of electrical impulses from one part of the body to another. In accordance to their functions, the neurons are classified into three groups, namely sensory neurons, motor neurons, and association neurons. Sensory neurons conduct impulses from the sense organ to the brain and spinal cord. Motor neurons conduct impulses from the brain and spinal cord to the effector organs like muscles and glands. Association neurons perform integrative functions of the nervous system. Nerves from all over the body meeting in a bundle in such a connection is commonly called as the spinal cord. Hence, reflex arcs are formed in a spinal cord, read through the messages reach the brain. The central nervous system or CNS. The central nervous system is a delicate structure composed of the brain and the spinal cord. The brain is protected by a bony structure called cranium or skull, and the spinal cord by the vertebral column or the backbone. Protective membranes called meninges are present in the space between the soft CNS and the bone. There are cavities present on the different parts of the brain known as ventricles, while the long cavity of the spinal cord is called the central canal. The ventricles, central canal, and the space between the meninges are filled with cerebrospinal fluid, that is CSF. CSF keeps the CNS well nourished, heat, and also protects it by absorbing mechanical shocks. Many of our actions are voluntary in nature, that is, we think before doing it, like walking, clapping hands, bending down to pick up something, etc. In all these actions, there is involvement of our muscles. The brain sends message to the muscles and the muscle act accordingly. This is the second instance where nervous system is communicating with the muscles. The brain is complex organ divided mainly into three regions: the forebrain, midbrain, and the hindbrain. The forebrain or the cerebrum is the main thinking part of the brain. It has regions which receives the sensory impulses from various receptors. Do we remind ourselves to breathe or pump blood from the heart? There are certain actions that takes place in our body which are not reflex actions or voluntary action, but something positioned between them. Involuntary actions like blood flow, breathing, sneezing, etc. are controlled by the medulla oblongata, a component of the hindbrain. Another component of the hindbrain is cerebellum. It is responsible for coordinating the voluntary movement and also maintaining the balance of our body. For example, riding a bicycle, picking up an object from the floor, running along a straight line, etc. The brain can stay alive for 4 to 6 minutes without oxygen. After that, the cell begin to die. Albert Einstein's brain weighted 1230 grams, significantly less than the average weight of human brain, which is approximately 1300 gram to 1400 gram. The chemical control. The chemical control is brought about by chemical substances called hormones. These hormones are secreted by the endocrine glands, also known as the ductless glands. The endocrine system shares its responsibility of control and coordination with the nervous system. Both the systems work in cooperation to integral and control various body activities. Summary. The central nervous system comprises of the brain and the spinal cord and regulates all activities of the body. The brain is a complex organ divided mainly into 3 regions: the forebrain, midbrain, and the hindbrain. The central nervous system, that is CNS. The central nervous system is the delicate structure composed of the brain and the spinal cord. Important component of the hindbrain is cerebellum, which is responsible for coordinating the voluntary movements and also maintaining the balance of our body. Endocrine glands are also known as glands of internal secretions. Their secretions, commonly known as hormones, are also referred to as chemical messengers. So that was all in this lesson. In the next lesson, we will learn about the life cycle. Till then, keep learning.